For a pretty long time, every single person on the planet, well, the ones who followed football that is, have given their say on who's the better player, Ronaldo or Messi. It's a debate that's raged on for over a decade, and we're still searching for an answer. But if you ask us, we're never going to get a right answer for a comparison between two of the greatest players the game has ever seen. Those who believe Ronaldo to be the greatest have put forward some really valid arguments, while those who favour Messi have also come up with some really great points. Therefore, let's just be happy and feel blessed that we're able to witness this rivalry and have enjoyed the impact of two of the most talented players in the game's beautiful history. But there's definitely one argument that we are going to settle today. You might not agree with us, but hey, let us know in the comment section what your say is. For several years, Jose Mourinho and Pep Guardiola have been setting the bar for football management. The two men are definitely part of an elite group of managers who changed everything about the game. Both men have won a lot of silverware and enjoyed unparalleled success. But the argument still stands. Who's a better manager? Is it Pep Guardiola or is it Jose Mourinho? If you ask us, the answer to this question is very simple, but for the sake of interest, we're definitely going to hem and haw a little bit and then tell you who we think is the best manager of the two. So, want to know how we never miss a match? With Fubo TV, you can stream any game, anytime, anywhere. Use our link in the description to start for free and watch your favourite teams live. So, how do we compare these two managers? I mean, is it fair to compare two managers who are believers in two very different philosophies? Well, to be honest, it is fair, because managers are supposed to make their players better, improve performances and help their club lift silverware, while also making sure that every player is reaching their true potential. Unlike players, comparing managers can be relatively easy, since there are quite a few elements in football management that makes it easy to run a comparative analysis. So let's talk about a few of the reasons that make one manager better than the other. Guardiola versus Mourinho. Who leads the bragging rights? The first time Mourinho and Guardiola locked horns was way back in September 2009 when Inter Milan hosted Barcelona in a Champions League group stage game. The game ended in a goalless draw, with the visiting side playing that unique brand of football that was imaginative and something we hadn't seen in years. Mourinho, for his part, played a rather conservative brand of football. A couple of months later, Barcelona defeated Mourinho's Inter 2-0 at Camp Nou. However, revenge would be had in the semi-finals of the 2010 Champions League, where the Italians won 3-1. That season, Inter went all the way and lifted the title for the first time in many years. And as we know, Mourinho left the Giuseppe Meazza soon after to become the manager of Real Madrid, in a move that's considered the birth of the rivalry between these two men. Indeed, Mourinho's arrival at the Santiago Bernabeu added a lot of fire to the rivalry. All in all, however, the two men have faced each other 23 times in all competitions, with Guardiola winning 11 games, Mourinho only 6, while 6 games ended in stalemates. The Catalan tacticians' sides have plundered 42 goals against teams managed by Mourinho, while the Portuguese tacticians' charges have managed 31 goals. Guardiola averages 1.7 points per game against Mourinho, which is quite a number given the fact that between 2010 and 2015 it was never easy to get one over on the special one. So this much is pretty clear. Guardiola has Mourinho's number, and even though their most recent meeting, Man City vs Tottenham, resulted in the former Man United man come away with 3 points, the Spaniard boasts a better head-to-head record. Contrasting styles. Alright, so this one's very easy to identify. The destinies of Mourinho and Guardiola have been intertwined. The Portuguese manager started out his apprenticeship at Barcelona, while Guardiola was still a player. After learning so much from Sir Bobby Robson, Mourinho ended up doing things very differently. There's a stark contrast between the ideologies laid out by both men. While Guardiola is seen as a genius who revolutionized the game and added a lot of intricate tactics in the game, Mourinho is considered as the antithesis of beautiful football, a manager who is a staunch supporter of winning at all costs school of thought. That's why Mourinho isn't well liked by football purists. Indeed, Guardiola is a manager who would mould his team into playing a possession-based brand of football, with some really unique decisions when it comes to positioning certain players. Mourinho, on the other hand, likes his athletes to be physically imposing and willing to do whatever it takes to win a game. This stark contrast in how the two see the game has created a lot of issues. Mourinho is a very defensive-minded manager who does not take kindly to players who play too openly and would rather have his players soak up the pressure and simply wait for the opportunity. Guardiola, on the other hand, is a firm believer in high pressing when not in possession and expects his players to prioritise winning back the ball quickly. When it comes to using the space, it's clear that Guardiola's tactics showcase the importance of spatial awareness. During his rookie season at Barcelona, it became clear that the Spaniard liked to see his players work on their off-the-ball movement. During his time at Camp Nou, there were so many occasions when Pedro would be simply strolling around at one end of the pitch, while the likes of Xavi, Andres Iniesta and Lionel Messi would be keeping defenders busy. Then, out of nowhere, a quick change in direction would see Pedro get in behind a defender and score a goal. Those particular goals were well thought out, worked on during training sessions and executed to perfection during match days. Mourinho, on the other hand, would rarely go for an attacking formation every time his teams came up against a superior opponent. He would rather defend in numbers and park the bus, as it is mostly called. The semi-final win over Barcelona is a perfect example. The Catalonians were laying siege to Inter Milan's goal. There was simply no getting out of it. Even the likes of Diego Milito and Wesley Sneijder were expected to focus on defending. Trophy haul. It's clear that both men have an illustrious career in management. Pep Guardiola has won quite a lot of silverware, and the same goes for Mourinho. The current Man City manager has actually won 26 trophies so far in his career. He won 3 league titles, 2 Copa del Reys, 2 Champions League titles, 3 Supercopa de Españas, 2 UEFA Super Cups and 2 Club World Cups at Barcelona. At Bayern Munich, he ended up winning the Bundesliga on 3 occasions and also lifted 2 DFB Pokals. At Manchester City, Guardiola has won the Premier League twice and has 2 League Cups as well. Mourinho, on the other hand, has won 25 trophies. He won 2 league titles in Portugal, 2 for Chelsea in his first spell and another one in his second spell, 2 Serie A titles with Inter Milan and 1 league title in Spain for Real Madrid. At Man United, Mourinho won the Europa League. However, it would be unwise and unfair to simply rule out everything Mourinho has achieved in his career. Back in 2004, when he was a young and upcoming manager and had all the energy in the world, Mourinho was at the dugout for FC Porto. No one can forget his masterclass against Man United and then against AS Monaco in the final as the Portuguese giants went all the way. When he arrived at Chelsea, he was given the reins of a club that was flowing with money but didn't have a plan. Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger were still the league's powerhouses, and Mourinho's arrival changed the Premier League forever. Chelsea became a true force to be reckoned with, and Stamford Bridge was their fortress that couldn't be conquered. When he arrived at Inter Milan, Mourinho was up against a great AC Milan side, and he led them to back-to-back league titles, thanks to his pragmatic approach towards the game. It wasn't easy to wrench the title off of Barcelona, but Mourinho managed to find a way around Guardiola's tiki-taka football and showed one way of neutralising Barcelona. But when it comes to completely revolutionising the game, Guardiola has the edge. The former Spain international arrived at Bayern Munich knowing that he'll be dealing with a different group of players. However, that never became a problem with some truly mind-boggling tactics. Javi Martinez, who was a defensive midfielder, eventually transitioned into a centre-back and never seemed out of place. Similarly, Philipp Lahm was one of the finest fullbacks in the world, but the German's hidden ability of being a central midfielder was exposed to the world. Not many players can achieve something like this. At Man City, Pep Guardiola spent a lot of time with Raheem Sterling and converted him from a flank-hugging winger to one of the most complete forwards in the game today. The England international is a completely different player from the one who first arrived at the Etihad from Liverpool all those years ago. Kevin De Bruyne has become one of the best midfielders in the game today, and it took Guardiola's tactical brilliance and management to make the Belgian who he is today. And how can we ever forget about Javier Mascherano's transition from a midfielder to a defender? The Argentine paired up with Gerard Piqué in defence on numerous occasions and was never out of place despite his stature. Mourinho's record when it comes to showing patience with certain players can be considered questionable. Throughout his career, the Portuguese tactician has never shied away from criticising his own players or ignoring them. Kevin De Bruyne started out at Chelsea, but was never given any chances or assurances about his future. He left for VfL Wolfsburg, and the rest is history. Similarly, Mourinho never showed enough patience for Mohamed Salah when he first arrived at Chelsea. The Egyptian needed time to settle in but was never given the confidence by his manager. He eventually left for Italy and then returned to turn up for Liverpool in England and is now one of the most fearsome forwards in the game today. Pep Guardiola has also made similar decisions too. At Barcelona, he decided to push Zlatan Ibrahimovic to the flank in order to accommodate Lionel Messi, and the ensuing comments by the Swede show the other side of Guardiola. Similarly, the likes of Yaya Toure and Bastian Schweinsteiger were also never given much credit. In fact, when Guardiola arrived at City, everyone knew that Toure's career at the club would be coming to an end, and that's precisely what happened. Nonetheless, we feel that overall, it's Pep Guardiola who's the better manager of the two. The Spaniard has evolved as the game around him has changed. His tactics are still spot on, and there are always slight variations to them. Mourinho, on the other hand, has been very stubborn with his ideals and has never shown any inclination to change things. This is why he's currently at Tottenham, where he's struggling to mould the team to his liking, And how can he, when the current Spurs side is built to play quick attacking football and not the sort of controlled football that has put many onlookers to sleep?